Hi, everybody. My name is Chase Clymer, and welcome back to another episode of Unprepared, an honest e-commerce bonus episode where we hear expert advice in 15 minutes or less. Unprepared isn't scripted or edited. There are no redos. When we screw up, it's going live. That works for this show, but it's no way to run your e-commerce business. Our partner Rewind can protect your Shopify store with automated backups of your most important data. Rewind should be the first app you install to protect your store against human error, misbehaving apps, or collaborators gone bad. It's like having your very own magic undo button. Trusted by over 80,000 businesses, from side hustles to the biggest online retailers like Gymshark, Gatorade, and Movement Watches. Best of all, merchants like you can get 1 month of automated Shopify backups for free by visiting rewind.io/honest. That's rewind.io/honest. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Unprepared. Today, I am welcoming to the show Greg from Guppy. They are an amazing content marketing agency helping people essentially kick butt with content, and they're really, really good at SEO, so I'm looking forward to chatting. Greg, how you doing?
Great to be here. I'm doing well. How are you, Chase?
I'm doing good now that I got my interface working. If anyone has an extra Scarlet interface, I'm in the market. Mine is broken. Anyways, so just quickly, what is Guppy? What are you guys good at?
We focus strictly on creating SEO content for SMBs, essentially. So e-commerce, B2B, like SaaS, and then like service-based businesses, and the occasional like online course education business. But so we drive traffic and turn that into a lead gen channel for you.
Absolutely. So a lot of your efforts for people that are looking at the more traditional model, you got top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel. Is a lot of the stuff you're doing more at the top of the funnel?
Actually, so in the beginning, it's more the bottom of the funnel. So it's more trying to get like people to go there who have buying intent for whatever product you're selling. So this is like these are types of content. Like let's say you're selling I don't know. But like a friend of mine sells mermaid tails, okay. Right? So this is good. So like this would be things like, best mermaid tails, or another type of content that I like to write is like whatever your biggest competitor is, X competitor, like X alternatives or X competitors to whatever that your biggest competitor. So write a long list post of your competitors. Yeah.
Yeah, that works. So is a lot of what you're doing, when we say content is like, there's a lot of stuff these days, but it is mostly what you're doing blog writing?
Blog writing, yeah.
Article, yep. Resource, you can name it a few different ways depending on how you want to spend
it. It doesn't matter. Blogs, articles, pages, whatever you want to write.
It's a bunch of words
it's written form
to
content.
Make Google happy.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. So you mentioned that you work with e-commerce brands sometimes. What would you say is like the lowest hanging fruit that most e-commerce brands like aren't doing, or when you start engagements, you like are always checking this thing?
All right. So assuming your product pages are fine and everything like that, mm-hmm. the one thing that every e-commerce brand should be writing is like best whatever category post. Like so many of them, it's such a low hanging fruit piece, but it's like I said, best mermaid tails, right? For birthday parties. It doesn't matter, whatever it is, almost no e-commerce brand has it, and they are such low-hanging fruit. Just put your product or your brand at the very top, because nobody scans past the first three, and you're going to convert.
Dude, all right. Well, there you go, everybody. You can stop listening. 3 minutes in, you got what you came for.
Go.
Okay, so beyond that one, what are some of the other ones that you like to challenge? I mean, not to give away your secret sauce or anything, but is there, what's the playbook look like?
So what is like the job to be? I'm gonna try to go into like we call like job to be done. Mm-hmm. Basically, like what are you doing? What is the product being used for? And start creating content around that as well. And is it to look good, have fun, whatever it is, to throw the best birthday party ever for a 6-year-old girl, whatever the job to be done is, start creating content around that. And that way, people who don't always know that, hey, I need your product, but they know that they want something different, or they want a problem solved, or they want a new experience, whatever it is, then they are able to go and read your content, and in the context of your content, they can get to know what your product or your brand is.
Yeah, I mean that's the key right there to content marketing, I believe, is like, I don't remember the percentage. It's like, 10% of people are actually buying what you're selling or whatever. But then the rest of the game for marketing is just like, okay, well, just get as many people out there to know about your product or your service you're offering, whatever.
It's 3%, according to Chet Holmes. It's 3%. Yeah,
that's a great
it's
book.
3% of any audience. Yeah, the Ultimate Sales Machine. Yeah, but it's 3% of any in any given market that a person is looking to buy your product right now. And it's something like going back to your 10 to, I forget if it's like 10-20% are actually aware that your product exists, or something along those lines. Yeah. So, once you create that low hanging fruit content, like you need to figure out how to get that other 97% into the door.
Yeah. They just need to know about you, because when they do become aware that they have a need for that, or maybe it's not even them. And this is why I love content, and this is why I do so much of it, is it's almost as if you're like creating luck for yourself. You're just increasing this awareness of your brand. So it may not be the person that actually read your content, but they might be out to lunch someday and somebody needs what you have, and at the table they're talking about it, they're like, well, I read this thing, and then referrals, like it's such a crazy thing how it works, and you just really got to put yourself out there and put the content out there, and it comes back.
Absolutely. And it's not even, it's like, and how many times is it like, oh, I've read a blog post or from a brand, and then I saw their ad, and then I talked to my friend about it, and then I saw another ad, and then I got an email from them, and you know what I mean? Like, so all of a sudden, like that, you just start showing up in the faces of your customers in various ways, and it's but content, I think, is like is like you were saying, is just the thing that gets people out there and introduces you to your customer.
Yeah, you kind of just alluded to something that I had another question to, which is like, okay, so like obviously for like prospecting and awareness, content is awesome. It's, blog writing, all that stuff. But like, what are the other uses for the content that's getting created? Because we're not just like getting some awesome pillar piece of content and slapping it up on our website. What else should we be doing with this?
Promoting it. So again, we're done. No, I'm just kidding. So you could do things such as like driving ads to the same piece of content, sending it out in emails, chopping it up and throwing it into various Facebook posts and Instagram and things like that, various channels, turning it into a YouTube video, at going on shows like this and just being like, hey, here's a piece of content that really worked out for me, and talking about it in that sense. So just getting it out there as much as possible. But unfortunately, most people kind of stop at Facebook ads or whatever the ad flavor of the day is. But yeah, if you just sort of repurpose it in 100 different ways, then it'll just get out there a lot more.
Yeah, that's the thing, is you gotta promote it. Just putting it out there into the ether. If it's good, Google will pick it up and you will get some organic traffic from it. But it'll work. It'll work a lot better if you're like putting it out there through all the channels, and putting it out in your email newsletter and talking about it on your Facebook. Like everything that Greg just said here, that's the other piece to the puzzle, is you gotta make it and then promote it. I like that.
If you're to spend whatever, let's say it's like 3, 4, 5 hours writing an amazing blog post, it's 2,500 words or whatever. Like, don't just press publish and be done with it, because then it's kind of, you wasted 5 hours of your day or week or whatever. You have to spend another 5 to 10 hours promoting it.
Awesome. So let's recap it real quick for these people. So anyone listening out there and they don't have the best uses for X blog, or that pillar content that you talked about earlier. So they go out and they write that, and then they listen to us and they chop it up into a bunch of other useful pieces of content, and they're promoting the crap out of it for the next 3 weeks. What's next for them? Is there anything else they should do, or should just rinse and repeat, keep doing it?
Build links to it. Write guest posts and link back to that pillar piece of content, because that's how it's gonna rank in Google. So you're gonna have really great content. It's gonna get some traffic because you've promoted it. The third step is building links by writing guest posts. So go out to other blogs in the niche or in the area in like your field or industry or whatever, and start creating guest posts around that piece of content. Link back to that blog post, and you're going to start building a couple links, and then within a couple, let's say months or whatever, sometimes it's weeks, most times it's months, it's going to start ranking to the top of Google. And then that's where you're going to start seeing like this influx of 500 visitors a month, 700 visitors a month, 1,000 visitors a month to that one blog post. And that's kind of where the magic is going to start to really happen.
Well, Greg, you just made it sound like easy, and that's a formula that I can follow that makes sense. Is it really just like that?
Yeah. I used to be afraid of SEO because I thought it was so hard, but it's really easy. Find keywords that people are searching for, write great content, and promote it and build links. And that's it. Just rinse and repeat.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what you do. Everyone out there listening, like that's how you do it. You can do it. You can have a team member do it. Maybe you can hire someone to do it. But if you don't want to do it and you want to hire Greg to do it, how do they get a hold of you?
Go to contentguppy.com, or you can email me, Greg@contentguppy.com.
Perfect. Greg, thank you so much for coming on and sharing that.
Thanks so much, Chase.